up, y'all? It's your boy Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. Over the past weekend, Premier Boxing Championship brought you perhaps one of their best cards of this year since they debuted in March of 2015. It all started with a junior featherweight showdown between two Mexican hard-hitting punchers, Hugo Ruiz versus Julio Cesar. I mean, this fight right here was an all-out battle that went toe-to-toe action from round one. Hugo Ruiz basically was controlling the fight with his height and his reach. He was dominating with the jab and landing some very hard shots that shook up Ceja. Ceja was caught with a very good left hook and he went down. He was hurt, but this guy showed his determination. He was able to get back up and get back into the fight. This is a young 22-year-old fighter from Mexico who had tremendous heart in getting back in this fight and weathering the storm. He came back, he started working the body and started working his way back into this fight when he landed a beautiful left hook right on Ruiz, sent Ruiz crashing down to the canvas. It was a perfect picture punch and he was badly hurt. And Ceja just jumped all over him and started wailing on him. And the referee stopped the fight in the 5th round for a TKO victory. Now, Julio Cesar Ceja is now in line for a title shot at the 122-pound division for the WBC Super Bantamweight title that Leo Santa Cruz currently holds right now. But it looks like Santa Cruz might give up that title. So Ceja might become the newly crowned champion before the year is over. And I would love to see this guy fight again. He improved his record to 30-1 with 27 knockouts. And he is a young 22-year-old fighter who is very exciting. And he showed that he belongs at this level right here. I mean, he showed heart, determination. He showed poise. He was able to weather the storm and come back in this fight in a great comeback fight. It was a great night to start Premier Boxing Champions. And who knows? I would love to see this guy fight one of the top guys at 122 pounds because he will be an all-exciting fight with this young man. Perhaps against a prospect by the name of Puerto Rican Rafael Vasquez. Great matchup between Puerto Rico versus Mexico. Two hard-hitting punches at 122 pounds. I think that fight could happen for Ceja before he faces somebody like a Carl Frampton or a Guillermo Rigondeaux to unify the titles at 122 pounds. But I would definitely love to see this guy fight again. Now, the main event, we all know, Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner was going to be an exciting fight. And it lived up to the hype, ladies and gentlemen. From the opening bell, Mares jumped all over Leo Santa Cruz and he went to war. I mean, these guys went toe-to-toe for 12 rounds and threw over 2,000 punches. And Leo Santa Cruz threw over 1,000+ punches by himself. I mean, this was an all-out action warfare. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz showed that he belongs at the top level as a pound-for-pound fighter today. He remains undefeated, 31-0, and he just fought beautifully. He showed that great chin to take Morris's best shots and still be in the fight. He used his height and his reach, working that jab and landing the cleaner blows throughout the whole entire fight. Now, Morris started to look fatigued around the 5th round or so. The middle rounds, he was looking very fatigued. And Leo Santa Cruz just basically took over the fight in the second half. And he just basically dominated. I think that Leo won 8 rounds to 4. You could even say 9 rounds to 3. It was more of a one-sided fight for Leo Santa Cruz. And he just showed a beautiful display of heart, determination, boxing skills. And Morris just fought the wrong game plan. He should have boxed more. He should have moved more. He should have used the jab. And he just wanted to knock him out. He didn't listen to the instructions of his corner. He fought the wrong fight. Now, a rematch definitely could be called for because even though it was a one-sided fight, it was such an exciting fight. There could be a good demand for this fight for a rematch. I mean, Barrera versus Morales was an all-action fight for the first fight that they had. And in the rematch, it was a totally different fight when both guys elected to box more in the second fight. Also, Gotti versus Ward was an outstanding warfare in their first fight, but the second fight, you saw Arturo Gotti box more against Ward in that fight, and it was a totally different fight from the first fight. So who's to say that Mares versus Santa Cruz wouldn't be a different fight second time around? Mares should box more next time around. But it was a great fight. It was an action fight. It did over 13,000 plus fans at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. And Santa Cruz is now the king of LA. He is probably the second most popular Mexican fighter, right behind Canelo Alvarez right now, of the new generation of Mexican fighters. I mean, this kid is something special, and I would love to see him fight, somebody like Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, I'm a big Rigondeaux fan, and everybody knows that the politics of boxing is going to prevent this fight from happening. Leo Santa Cruz wants Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux wants Leo Santa Cruz. But Cruz's management, Al Heyman, and his father and his team does not want this fight to happen. For good reason. I believe Rigondeaux can outbox Leo Santa Cruz. But this fight will never happen unless Rigondeaux was to be signed by Al Heyman. Then it will have a very good chance of happening. But I don't see that happening right now. So that fight will be out of the question. Now, I also hear people calling out Lomachenko versus Leo Santa Cruz, which is another great matchup. But that's another fight due to boxing politics is not going to happen. Lomachenko is with Bob Arum and Top Rank, which does not do business with Al Heyman. So you could forget that fight. It's not going to happen. The only possible fight right now for Leo Santa Cruz is basically him dropping back down to the 122-pound division and fighting a unification match with the IBF champion, Carl Frampton, who is also with Al Heyman. That's a great fight. That's an all-action fight. And I give Santa Cruz the edge in that fight right now over Carl Frampton. And also, if he elects to stay in the featherweight division, which I believe he will, the biggest fight right now for him is against WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr. Now, that's an awesome matchup. That's a matchup that definitely can happen because they're managed by Al Heyman, and it's speed versus, skill and power versus the chin, the will and determination, and the aggressiveness of Leo Santa Cruz. It's like a miniature Mildred Taylor versus Julio Cesar Chavez type fight at 126 pounds. And I would love to see that fight, and I believe that that's going to be the fight to happen early of 2016. So I can't wait for that matchup to be made because I know it's going to happen. Now, another fight that happened this weekend was a pay-per-view fight that I don't think many people ordered, was Sugar Shane Mosley versus Ricardo Mayorga in a rematch. And that fight ended in the 6th round when Mosley landed a perfectly timed body shot and ended the fight right there and then. These guys are past their primes and basically fighting for a payday. And it's really sad that these guys are continuing their career in this fashion. Basically, Sugar Shane Mosley is calling out Juan Manuel Marquez next. And I believe that's actually a pretty good, decent fight. Even though these guys are in their 40s and they're past their primes, they're two Hall of Famers that never actually fought in the same weight class. And I believe that this will be an actual interesting fight for fight fans and everything. A probably good, fun fight. But that's my recap over the weekend. And I would like to thank everybody who is following me on Instagram and also joining my Facebook boxing group page. And I also say to everyone, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support.